Peter Mac sat in the bar staring at his drink. It was the worst day of his life. A rather large man came in and sat down next to him. The man asked him, "Why the long face?" "It's time to celebrate, I got engaged today." Peter said, "Congratulations to you. For me it was the worst day of my life. Life just doesn't seem worth living." "You sound like you are considering suicide." "Suicide is not the answer. Speak for yourself." "I don't want to talk about it." The man got up and moved down about 10 stools. Roberta Driscoll was sitting in a booth and heard the whole exchange. She stood up and walked over to him. She asked him, "Are you really intent on committing suicide?" Holding out a small bottle, he replied, "I have the poison right here. A couple of more drinks and I'll be ready to do it. I'll tell you what. I'll help you commit suicide. But you have to do it my way. I promise it will be almost painless if you let me help you." "I don't know. I have things pretty well planned. Why would you want to help me do something like that? You don't look like a bad guy, just someone who lost their direction." "I think I can help you. There are all kinds of suicide. Who knows, maybe your poison will be slow and you'll suffer a lot. I have something in mind that will be guaranteed minimal pain and will do the same as your poison." "Well, I guess I can let you help me. If it doesn't work, I can always take the poison." "First give me the poison. If you really need it, I'll give it to you." He handed her the poison and she told him to follow her, which he did. As they entered her late model full-sized car, he noted that she must do all right, whatever work she does. They started out and she asked about him. He told her, "My name is Peter Mac. Until today I worked as an accountant. I had car trouble on the way to work and the tow truck driver told me my car was junk. I was late for work and they are downsizing and fired me. I took a cab home and found my wife in bed with another man. They were laughing at how dumb I was. I decided to commit suicide rather than face my cheating wife. Well, my name is Roberta Means and I own the Elite Beauty Parlor. Are you sure you want to put an end to Pete Mac?" "Yes, there is nothing for me left of value." They continued until she pulled into a driveway and the garage door opened. She let him into the house and told him to make himself comfortable. He sat in an easy chair and she sat opposite him. Roberta asked, "Are you truly interested in committing suicide? Do you really want to end life as you know it?" "Yes, I am sure. There is nothing for me to live for anymore." "Then you can commit suicide my way. Do you agree to try it my way?" "Yes, anything is better than the way I feel now. Let's get started. Follow me." She led him into the bathroom and told him to strip. He hesitated, then started to strip. She rubbed a lotion all over his body and had him stand for a while, then had him get into the shower, telling him and goes Peter Mac. The shower was relaxing to Peter and he wondered what she was going to do next. She was in control and he knew it. He wondered how she would explain his body to the police but figured she must have some idea how to cover her tracks. He didn't even notice all of his body hair was gone. She had him shampoo his hair, lathering twice and rinsing it well. She told him to remember how to do that. He stepped out of the shower and she handed him a pair of lace-trimmed nylon panties. "What's this for?" "You stepped into the shower as Peter Mac and you stepped out as Angela Strong. Peter Mac is a suicide in a different way. Now put these on so we can get to the real work." He slid the panties on and when she handed him a round container with a big powder puff in it, he puffed himself with the fragrant powder. "It is called jasmine. I tried it for a short while then returned to my lavender powder. Every girl needs her own scent, and for now Jasmine can be yours. Now sit on the stool there while I work on your face. She tweezed his eyebrows first, then told him the rest was the fun part. Then she applied foundation, blush, eyeliner, mascara, and lipstick. She told him not to move, that she would be right back. He wanted to turn and see what he looked like in the mirror but didn't move. She returned with 2 wigs, a black one with a flip and a brunette one with lots of curls. The brunette one is close to your hair color, but I can color your eyebrows for the black one. Which one would you like to wear? He chose the brunette one and she fitted it on his head and straightened it so it was in its full glory. Then she told him to turn and look at himself in the mirror. He turned and was amazed. He saw a face he could fall in love with. He couldn't believe it was him. Roberta broke the trance, saying it was time to go to bed as tomorrow would be a busy day. She told him he was going to be the new shampoo girl at the salon. She handed him a nylon nightgown which he put on. She showed him the spare bedroom where he was to sleep. He crawled into bed and marveled at how nice the nightgown felt. He laid there and wondered what tomorrow would bring. Roberta seemed nice, a little pushy but mainly nice. He didn't know if he was doing the right thing or not. Soon he was fast asleep. He was awakened by Roberta calling, "Angela, time to get up." She stood fully dressed, holding some clothes. He got up and went to the bathroom. When he looked at himself in the mirror, he couldn't believe it was him. He returned to the bedroom and Roberta was holding out a bra for him to put on. "Is this really necessary? Why can't I wear my other clothes?" "Yes, it is necessary. You are now Angela and Angela dresses as any girl her age does. Now, no more back talk." She fastened the bra and saw it was very tight on him. She told him they would get some better fitting ones after work. She gave him a padded panty girdle to put on. Then a black slip after she padded the bra cups. Then came the pink dress with the large zipper in front. It had a rather large gold-colored ring to zip it up. She gave him a pair of thigh-high nylons to put on, then a pair of black shoes with an 1.5-inch heel. The shoes were too tight and he complained. She got a pair of black slides that would work for the day. They had a 2-inch heel but he could handle it. She touched up his face then declared him ready. After some jelly toast and coffee they were on their way to work. As they rode she explained about how to do a proper shampoo. She told him she didn't think he would have any trouble giving shampoos and that it would save a tremendous amount of time for the other girls. They arrived at the salon and she showed him where he would be working and how everything was situated. Less than 5 minutes after they arrived the other girls started to arrive. Soon the first customer arrived and he got busy giving the shampoo. It went smoothly and he felt better about the job. He soon was making comments to the customers about whatever caught his eye, be it a pretty dress or piece of jewelry. Several mentioned to Roberta how friendly Angela was compared to the last girl. At lunchtime Roberta told him he was doing an excellent job. She said they never had so compliments on any shampoo girl before. The other girls agreed and he blushed on hearing that. The afternoon seemed to fly by and he was surprised when it was quitting time. He took off his protective apron and hung it up, then gave the sink a good cleaning without being told. Roberta was impressed with how well he was doing. As they were leaving she turned opposite to the way from which they'd arrived. When he asked where they were going she told him he needed some clothes of his own. Soon they were at a uniform shop where they picked out 5 comfortable dresses for him to wear to work. Then they stopped at a large department store and she picked out what seemed to be a lot of colored bras for him. She explained hers were all white and that this way they could tell them apart. She also picked out some slips and panties for him. Next came nylons, then they headed for the shoe section. After she had picked out 5 pairs of heels from 2 to 4 inch, they headed to pay for their purchases. As they checked out, Roberta had him put on a pair of 3-inch heels to wear. They were pink and matched his dress. His hips swayed as he got used to walking in them. She told him they had one more stop for shopping, and stopped at a dress barn. There she helped him pick out 2 fancier dresses. They were too fancy for work, and when he asked, she told him he needed dresses to go out in. Then they stopped at a family restaurant for supper. Roberta told him that she was really impressed with how well he did. She told him his tips for the day covered one of the dresses from the dress barn. He was surprised to hear that he had gotten tips. Roberta told him all of the girls were impressed with him and that he was fitting in like he was always there. This gave him a good feeling because no one had ever told him he was doing a good job. He felt pretty proud of himself. After making one more stop, they headed home. Angela was getting friendlier with Roberta and they did a lot of talking. At home, he put the clothes away and Roberta told him it was time for a bubble bath. He sat in the tub and wondered about everything that had happened to him so far. It wasn't anything like he expected. It was fun fooling everyone, but he didn't know if he could keep it up. Everyone at the salon was so nice to him and he had never worked in that kind of atmosphere before. He heard the doorbell ring and wondered who had come to visit. He was really enjoying the bubble bath and completely relaxed. He wondered why he didn't feel funny wearing women's clothes, and then decided that it really didn't make any difference as long as it was decent. He'd never thought he would feel this way, but today at work was really enjoyable. Roberta roused him from his thoughts, telling him she had clean panties and a nightgown for him. She invited him to join her for a hot chocolate when he was ready. He joined her and soon they were talking about all sorts of things. Finally, Roberta asked, "Well, which suicide is better, yours or mine?" Angela responded, "So far yours. I have never had a day like today in my life. Everyone was so nice to me. I can't explain it. It is like a dream that you can't believe is happening. I'd never thought about anything like this. For today, I thank you." Roberta saw the tears in his eyes and decided to leave it at that. For some unknown reason, she liked this guy and wanted to help him. She didn't like him because he was a man, but because he was someone who appreciated what she had done for him. He was full of mixed emotions. He couldn't just put a finger on how he was feeling right now. Part of him was glad how things were turning out and part was unsure about what was happening. He felt like crying, but he didn't know why. He slept soundly all night and arose before the alarm went off. He didn't know why, but he felt really great today. When he arrived at work, he was all smiles. His third customer removed that smile. It was his wife. He shampooed her hair and she went to Roberta's chair. She didn't show any sign of recognizing him. Roberta started doing her hair. She asked, "Your name is Rita Meck, isn't it?" "Yes, why do you ask?" "Are you any relation to Peter Meck?" "Yes, he is my husband." "Where do you know him from?" "Oh, I met him earlier this week in a tavern. He was pretty down and talking about suicide." "Yes, he got fired from his job. I haven't seen him since." "Do you have any idea where he went?" "No, he said he knew of a place where no one would find him." "I don't have any idea where that would be." "Neither do I." Roberta finished her hair and when she was gone she walked over to Angela and told her even his wife didn't recognize him. He giggled and thanked her for the wonderful disguise. He was all smiles again. Right after lunch, his first client wanted to talk to him in the break room in private. They went into the break room and she introduced herself as Suzanne Brooks, RN. She told him she was the nurse to the best plastic surgeon in town, one Dr. Craig Dutton. She also told him that Roberta had told her about his transitioning and offered to help. She offered him some hormone pills that were supposed to be the best on the market. She told him they were supposed to do in 3 weeks what other hormone pills did in a year. She invited him to make an appointment to visit Dr. Dutton. He did, not knowing why. He wondered what the doctor would say or want to do the next Monday afternoon. That evening on the way home he told Roberta about the nurse's visit and his appointment with Dr. Dutton. Roberta told him she thought it was a good idea to see a doctor about what direction he wanted to go. When they got home, Roberta started supper, and not really realizing why Angela took one of the hormone pills the nurse had given her. After supper, Roberta told him she had a surprise for him. She had him stripped to the waist and presented him with a pair of silicone-filled breast forms. She told him they would jiggle naturally when he walked and he wouldn't have to worry about stuffing his bra cups anymore. He immediately went to the bathroom mirror to see how they looked, and indeed they did jiggle. He felt happy about this gift and thanked Roberta profusely. That night in bed he wondered where this was all leading. He was really enjoying everything, but somehow it didn't seem right. The next morning, being Saturday, his first 3 customers were brides getting ready for their big moment. He enjoyed how they blushed as they talked about what was about to happen. The day went fast as they closed at 2 for the weekend. Before they closed, Roberta paid the girls, and he was surprised when she gave him a pay envelope. In the car he asked why she had paid him. He told her that staying at her house and her feeding him was pay enough. She laughed hard and finally said, "You're a working girl now. Everyone gets paid for the work they do. You are a shampoo girl, so you don't make as much as the cosmeticians make, but you get paid just like the rest of the staff. By the way, now that you are a paid employee, your doctor visit is covered by the insurance. There is a $5 copay, but that is all it should cost you. I am going to need a social security number, so I suggest you get a card in the name of Angela Strong. I'll need it in 2 weeks when I close out the quarter. I am going to stop and do some shopping for a little while." She pulled in at a strip mall and entered a women's fashion shop. She noticed Angela looking at a denim skirt. It had a ruffle at the bottom and some white eyelet lace trim. Every girl needs a denim skirt. Why don't you get it? Pick out a white blouse to go with it. Angela ended up getting 2 skirts and a white blouse to go with the denim skirt and a floral blouse to go with the other skirt she had picked out, a full-on black skirt. At home she had to try both outfits on and model them. She twirled and moved with grace like a teenager with a new present. That night she slept like a newborn baby. The next morning Roberta said they were going to the zoo for the day. Angela wore her denim skirt and white blouse. They were at the zoo for a little over an hour when they decided to stop for some refreshments. They were enjoying them when 2 men came and sat by them. They introduced themselves and offered to escort the ladies around the zoo. Angela soon learned her escort was named Todd and that he was a yard contractor. He explained that he did some pretty fancy landscaping and planned and set up flower gardens for people. He soon had an arm around Angela's waist and Angela could feel the strength in his arms. Each couple went their own way, and late afternoon they came upon one another near the entrance. Roberta explained that her escort, Tim, had ridden to the zoo with Todd but had asked if he could take her for supper at a local steakhouse. She told Angela that she was going to drive Tim and that Todd would be taking her home. Todd opened the car door for her and she slid in. Then instead of taking her directly home, he stopped at a place that specialized in ribs. He told her he liked to eat here as the ribs were fabulous. Todd started the conversation saying, "I have never been real interested in girls until I saw you. In high school I asked one girl out but she turned me down. I only asked her because it was the thing to do. When I saw you, something clicked in my brain and I wanted to get to know you better. Angela said, I have to be perfectly honest with you. They tell me I am transitioning. What that means is right now I am a man who is on his way to becoming a woman. I am taking female hormones and tomorrow I see a doctor who specializes in people like me. My feelings won't be hurt if you want to end this right now. I just felt I had to tell you before things went any further. I'm sorry. Todd was silent for a couple of minutes, then said, You have nothing to be sorry for. For some unknown reason you appeal to me. I want to be there for you should you need me. I'll try to understand whatever decision you make. If you decide to go all the way, I'll understand. If you decide to not change anything, I'll understand. I just want to be your friend. No one has listened to me and asked questions like you did. You showed genuine interest in me like no one else. I have enjoyed your company today immensely. I want to continue seeing you and being there for you. Angela was fully taken emotionally by all of this. Her fear of ejection was gone, replaced by a feeling of euphoria that she had never experienced before. They finished a leisurely meal and had a delicious dessert. When Todd opened the car door for her, he gave her a quick kiss, saying he just felt the need to give her a kiss. When they got home, they saw Roberta's car in the garage. Todd opened the door for Angela and they went going in through the garage entryway. Before they got to the door into the house, Todd took her in his arms and gave her a lingering kiss. This sent tingles up and down Angela's spine. They entered the house and found Roberta and Tim watching TV. Roberta noticed Angela's blushing face right away but didn't say anything. Todd asked for Angela's telephone number, so she wrote it down and gave it to him. Shortly the boys left, and Roberta started laughing. Angela asked what was so funny, and finally Roberta told her she was. She said she saw the traces of lipstick on Todd's mouth and how Angela was blushing so deep when they came in the house. Roberta asked, So how well do you like him? It appears he is more than just a friend. Angela told her, He is like no one I have ever met. I told him the truth about myself and he wants to support me any way he can. He accepts me for who I am. I never believed there could be someone like him in this world. He says when he first saw me, something told him I was the person for him. He never had any girlfriends before because no one ever interested him. I don't know what to make of all of this. Roberta said, Enjoy the moment. What you have just experienced is a girl's first love. They are someone special. Even if you don't last, he will always be in the back of your mind. If you do last, then it is meant to be, so enjoy the ride. That night, as he sat in the bubble bath, he wondered how long this beautiful part of his life would last. He totally enjoyed the softness of the bubble bath and felt totally relaxed. He hoped this dream world would never end. Monday morning seemed to fly by. Before he knew, it was time to go see Dr. Dutton. He walked the 1 block to the doctor's office. He was very nervous in the waiting room. Finally, he was called. Suzanne Brooks took his blood pressure, pulse, and temperature. She told him the doctor would be in shortly. He didn't know what to expect. Dr. Dutton entered and introduced himself. Then asked Angela to tell him all about why she was here. Angela told him everything, from losing his job, his car being junk, Roberta telling him she would help him commit suicide, and how well everything was going now. So, you would like to continue being a female then, I gather. Oh, yes. I never thought it could be like this. Everyone is so nice to me and I am really looking forward to the future. If that means I become a female, then so be it. My nurse told me she started you on hormones. Are you taking them regularly? Do you really want to change your body to that of a female? Yes, definitely I do, Angela stated emphatically. Well, the first thing I would suggest is breast implants. The hormones will cause your breasts to grow, but not usually as much as a woman likes. I can do that a week from Wednesday if you would like. The date and time was set and Angela left the doctor's office feeling pretty good about things. When Angela arrived back at the salon, Roberta couldn't make out what sort of mood Angela was in. She desperately wanted to know what the doctor had said. At closing time, when they were in the car, Roberta came out and asked how the visit to the doctor was. I hate to say this, but I am going to need a few days off next week starting Wednesday. The doctor says 3 or 4 days should do it, but it could take up to a week to get back in the swing of things. What is he going to do? What did he all say? Tell me all about it. Angela told her about everything that had taken place in the doctor's office. Roberta was glad to hear that she was going to get breast augmentation surgery and told her so. Angela felt so much better, getting Roberta's approval. Roberta gave her a light hug and a kiss on the cheek, and Angela felt like she was on top of the world. After her bubble bath, Angela told Roberta that she could never thank her enough for all that she has done for her. Tuesday and Wednesday went fast for Angela, but Wednesday on the way home, Angela asked Roberta if she knew why Todd hadn't called her. Roberta laughed and said there are 1,000 reasons why he hadn't called. Maybe he was on a big project and didn't have the time. Shortly after supper, when they were reading the evening paper, they were startled by the phone ringing. Roberta answered it, and it was for Angela. She took the phone, and when Roberta saw her face, she knew it was Todd. Angela spoke only a few minutes, then hung up. That was Todd. He is going to pick me up in about 5 minutes to go for a drink somewhere and talk. He sounded real serious. I do hope he isn't tired of me already. I don't know if I could take the rejection. Angela, I have to tell you that people like you make a lot of people uncomfortable. They can't handle a situation like yours. You must be prepared for the worst at all times. I know it's hard, but stop and think about where and who you are. You know where you want to go, but the world isn't totally ready to accept that. Some people can accept it, but there are a lot who can't. Just keep that in mind. The doorbell ended the conversation. Angela grabbed her purse and left. She was anticipating the worst. Once in the car, as they were going, Todd said, "You were all I could think of since I met you. I have been involved in a project that took from 6 in the morning until 9 at night for the last 2 days. This afternoon we finished it. It covered over 5 acres that now is a sight to behold. That's wonderful. You must be quite an artist when it comes to landscaping, or you wouldn't be doing such big jobs." Well, you know, one job always seems to lead to another. Tomorrow we start another big job, only this one is about 3 acres and there's a tennis court in the middle of it, so it's different than the last. That is what makes this job so interesting. It is always different. They arrived at a place called Happy's and went in, and were seated in a corner booth which afforded them a lot of privacy. There was a man playing soft music on an organ. Todd ordered a couple of drinks from the waitress, and soon they were enjoying their drinks. Todd asked what was new, and Angela told him she was having some minor surgery a week from today. She told him she would only be in the hospital a couple of days, then would have a few days rest at home. She didn't tell him what she was having done. Todd said, "I hope everything turns out great. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you. I have never had anyone in my life like you, and I don't want to lose you. You are number one in my mind and in my heart." They enjoyed a tender kiss, and Angela felt quivers run through her body as they kissed. She had never experienced anything like this before. She hoped it never ended. They carried on some small talk and had a couple of more drinks before it was time to leave. When Todd dropped her off, he promised to call her more often, even if he was at work. He gave her a lingering goodnight kiss before she went into the house. She wasn't inside 1 minute before Roberta wanted to know what happened. Angela gushed as she told Roberta all about what had transpired. She was so animated Roberta got caught up in Angela's excitement. The rest of the week went fast, with Todd calling at least twice a day and taking her for supper on Friday evening. On Sunday, Todd took her to Twin Waterfalls State Park. They took in both waterfalls and had a picnic lunch by one of them. In the afternoon, they walked hand in hand on one of the nature trails. Angela hoped the trail would have no end. Only too soon it was time to head back. They stopped at a family restaurant for a light supper before continuing on. Angela was taken by the attention Todd was paying to her. She wondered what she had done to deserve this good luck. That night, as she was telling Roberta all about her day, Roberta noticed she was blushing more and was much more animated than before. She figured it had to be love that was doing that to Angela. Monday and Tuesday went fast for Angela, and too soon it was Wednesday. She checked into the hospital, and before the surgery, the doctor stopped in to chat with her. When he asked if she really wanted to go through with it, she enthusiastically said she did. When she woke up from the surgery, she was surprised to see Roberta there. Her chest was a little sore, but not too bad considering everything. Roberta told her she had cleared her calendar for the afternoon to be with her. Angela thanked her for being such a great friend, and told her she didn't know what she would do without her. When they wheeled her into her room, she noticed right away a large potted flower. Roberta told her the girls at the salon had chipped together for it. Then she noticed a dozen red roses. She knew they had to be from Todd. After a short nap, when she woke up, Roberta was there for support. "Well, sleepyhead, you going to stay awake for a while?" "Yes, I think so. It doesn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. It must be I still have some of the sedative in me." "Have you been here the whole time?" "Yes, you slept a little over an hour. I went down to the cafeteria and got something to eat to pass the time. Do you want to see your cards from your flowers?" "Yes, that would be nice." Roberta handed her the one from the salon girls. It was signed by everyone with words of encouragement added. Then Roberta said, "This one says only to be opened by Angela." Angela opened it. She took out the card. It read, "The flowers are for my love for you. The ring is my commitment to you if you accept it. Todd." Angela reached into the envelope and took out the ring. "Oh my God, it's an engagement ring. I can't believe it." Roberta exclaimed. "I can't believe it. What a way to propose. I can't believe it." Roberta gave Angela a hug after she said she was going to accept it. They were enjoying small talk when Todd walked in. "You aren't going to tell me to leave, are you?" he said with a smile on his face. "No, I don't want you ever to leave. Why didn't you just ask me to marry you instead of putting it in the card? I was afraid you would turn me down, and I don't think I could take that." "I would never turn you down. Now, come and give me some sugars." He went over to her and gave her a kiss. Roberta smiled when she saw how Angela was blushing. They say Cozumel is beautiful in November. How about the first Saturday in November for the wedding? "That sounds great to me," exclaimed Angela. "Roberta, will you be my maid of honor?" "You better believe it. I wouldn't miss that wedding for anything." Later, after both had left, Dr. Dutton came in and asked how she was doing. "I am doing fine. I feel great and thank you for everything good. You can go home tomorrow afternoon, but take it easy for a couple of days." Tomorrow call my office and make an appointment for Tuesday next week so I can check the scar and remove the stitches. One more thing, doctor. When can you make me a complete woman? I want to go all the way for sure. Well, it is recommended you dress as a woman for at least a year before even thinking about that. Why are you in such a hurry to make a major move like that? To tell you the truth, tonight I got engaged and he wants to get married in November. I want to be a complete woman for the wedding. Do we really have to wait a year before you can do anything? What I said is it is recommended. It is not a law, but first you have to see a psychiatrist to assess that you really are ready for the conversion mentally. I can set that up for you for next week if you would like, and then we can take it from there. Do you really want to go through with this? After an affirmative answer, he said he would have her appointment set for the mental end of it by Tuesday when she came to see him. The next afternoon, Todd picked her up and took her home. She told Todd she hoped to be the wife he has always wanted. He told her not to worry about it. When Roberta got home, Angela had supper all ready. Roberta commented on how she was trying to be the good housewife already, and they both laughed. Angela confided in Roberta her fears about the mental exam. Roberta told her all she had to do is be herself and tell the truth. She felt better hearing Roberta's answer. On Sunday, Todd took her to a petting zoo where they featured farm animals. The baby animals caught Angela's attention. She couldn't get enough of petting and scratching them. The two of them laughed a lot and had a very enjoyable time. Monday at work was the usual, except Mona put some silk wrap fake nails on Angela and painted them a bright fire red. Angela was thrilled at how they glimmered in the light. On Tuesday, when she went to the doctor, he was happy at how she was healing. Then he gave her the appointment card for a Dr. Henson, psychiatrist. Angela was leery of this appointment but determined to keep it. It was for Thursday at 1 p.m. Dr. Dutton said he would see her next Tuesday at 2. On Thursday, she went to see Dr. Henson. She told him everything truthfully, from how she was going to commit suicide to her engagement to Todd and how she wanted to be a complete woman. She noticed he was making a lot of notes and she wondered what he was thinking. She was surprised that when it was all over, 2 hours had elapsed. The doctor told her he would forward his findings to Dr. Dutton ASAP. She went back to work worried over what was going to be in the report to Dr. Dutton. Roberta assured her that everything would be for the best. She still had reservations though. On Tuesday, she was a bundle of nerves when she went to see Dr. Dutton. He checked her scars and saw it was healing beautifully and told her there would be little noticeable scarring from the surgery. Then came the big moment. You made quite an impression on Dr. Henson. I have gotten 6 reports on different people from him and yours is over twice as long as any of the rest of them. The bottom line is now he feels you are female except for that thing between your legs. He sees no reason we can't go ahead with the surgery. Angela felt a great sense of relief hearing that. Dr. Dutton gave her 3 different dates, the earliest being the following Wednesday, and then the Wednesdays 3 and 5 weeks down the line. She chose the next Wednesday. He told her she was the highest rated for a sex change he had ever seen from Dr. Henson. He told her the recovery period was rather long, but she would make it through, he was sure, with flying colors. When Angela returned to work, Roberta knew right away it was good news. They went into the break room and Angela told her all about it. Roberta was surprised that it would be so soon. She gave Angela a reassuring hug and a light kiss on the cheek. That night she and Todd went for a couple of drinks to their favorite bar. It was Angela's favorite because that was where Todd told her how he really loved her. As they were having the first drink, Angela told him about the upcoming surgery. She told him what was all involved to set it up and closed saying, "I love you so much and I feel you deserve a complete woman." Todd gave her a hard kiss on her lips and said thank you to her for all that she was doing for him. He said he could never do something like that, and he really appreciated that she would do that for him. He showed her some travel folders for Cozumel. She got all excited about it when she saw all that was offered. He told her about some of the side trips and things they would be doing. She was concerned that it would cost too much. He assured her it was all right. She took the travel folders with her when he dropped her off. Once inside, she had to show it all to Roberta. Roberta once again caught her enthusiasm. The following Wednesday came too quick. Angela was ready for the surgery and told the doctor thank you before he even started. Out of surgery, she was surprised to see both Roberta and Todd there to greet her. Even though she was groggy from the anesthesia, she was happy. She was in the hospital for a couple of extra days because she picked up an infection somewhere. Finally, a week later, she was home for the rest of her recovery. The pain wasn't as bad as she thought it would be. After 3 days at home, she tried the Saturday at the salon. All the girls gave her a welcome back hug and kiss. The first 2 hours were fine, and then she started to feel tired. She went back into the break room to rest after telling Roberta she had to rest. At closing time, Roberta helped her into the car. Angela couldn't believe how tired she'd gotten so fast. Roberta told her it takes time after surgery to recover your strength. Back at home, Angela took a 2-hour nap and arose feeling pretty good again. That evening, Todd came over and they relaxed and watched a movie on TV. Todd told her he got another big job that was going to take probably 2 weeks to complete. He told her even though tomorrow was Sunday, he would be working on drawing the rough plans for the project. He apologized because he wouldn't be over to see her, but she said he had his work to take care of. She told him she would probably rest most of the day and that Monday Roberta told her she could only work until noon if she held up. She wished she could do more, but she knew it would take time to heal and regain her strength. Monday morning she was all ready to go. She dove right into her job and things were going great, but by noon she was glad she was done. Roberta drove her home and she rested and did a little housework. When Roberta got home, she immediately noticed that Angela had done some housework and told her she was supposed to rest, not come home and do work. Angela told her she was bored and didn't mind doing it. On Wednesday evening, Todd stopped by to see how she was doing. She told him she was making it until noon at work, then coming home to rest. She told him she was feeling stronger and stronger. He was glad to hear that. He suggested they go somewhere Sunday and she agreed. By Friday she was working until 2, then one of the girls would run her home. She felt her strength was just about back. Saturday, Rita Mack came in. As she was shampooing Rita's hair, she told her she was getting married in November. Rita congratulated her. Angela felt a little bitchy toward Rita. You know, my name wasn't always Angela Strong. I'll bet you never would guess what my name was. No, I can't imagine. What was your name? You do look somewhat familiar, but I can't place you. My name used to be Peter. Does that ring a bell? Not really. What was your last name? It was Mack. Oh my gosh! It can't be, can it? Yes. We were married, but when I got canned at work I came home unexpectedly and found you in bed with some man, laughing at how dumb I was. I was going to commit suicide until someone intervened and changed me completely, put me through a different type of suicide. How can you get married when we never got divorced? I am now a woman in all aspects and this state doesn't recognize same-sex marriages, so we are both free to do as we please, and I am going to marry the greatest guy in the world. Well, I am glad for you. I am sorry I hurt you so much, but I got carried away with Simon and never did realize you'd found out about us. That explains why I haven't heard anything from you, I guess. I just figured you'd run off with someone else. Yes, things have turned out better for me than I ever imagined they would. It seems someone is watching over me pretty close. Well, Roberta is ready for you now. Rita went to Roberta's station and Roberta started her hair. Rita said that Angela had told her who she was before. Rita said she could never show her how sorry she was for what she had done to him. Roberta said that he'd had a hard time for a bit but was really happy now. Angela made it until closing time, and on the way home told her about her conversation with Rita. Roberta said she knew that he had told her who he was and who he is now, and that Rita was sorry for the pain she'd caused. She added that this was a good way to end the relationship, all things considered. Todd called that evening and asked her if she wanted to go to a photo exhibit at the Gallery of Art tomorrow. Angela told him it sounded delightful. She didn't know anything about art but was sure it would be enjoyable because she would be with Todd. Sunday he picked her up at noon as arranged and drove her to a small family restaurant known for its all-you-can-eat Sunday chicken. They enjoyed a delightful meal and then went to the art show. Featured were pictures of area gardens. It seemed Todd had done most of them. Angela was very impressed seeing some of his work being pictured. Some of the gardens looked extremely picturesque and some looked very intricate. They had a very enjoyable time with Todd telling her stories about some of the gardens pictured. Todd could see she was tired when he dropped her off. She thanked him for a very enjoyable day and told him she loved him. Todd told her maybe he'd worn her out too much, but she told him not to worry, that she treasured every moment with him. When she got into the house she could tell Roberta had something for her. Roberta was all smiles, and Angela could tell she was bursting at the seams. Finally Roberta handed her the lifestyle section of the Sunday paper. Angela asked what she was supposed to read and Roberta told to check out the article about the area's most eligible bachelors. Angela started reading the article. The first one was a computer programmer named Cecil Turek who told the paper he was married to his job. The second one was Todd Hammond, her Todd Hammond. It said he was a landscaper extraordinaire who has designed and done most of the leading landscaping in the area. It said he had 22 full-time workers and 15 part-time workers. It went on to say that he had purchased the Herbst mansion and had completely redone the gardens there. She smiled when the article reported he'd said he's found the princess of his dreams and expects to be removed from the list of eligible bachelors. Angela was all smiles and told Roberta she didn't know anything about all of this. She said she wanted to cut the article out of the paper and Roberta just chuckled. She went to bed a very, very happy woman. Monday morning before the first customer came in, Rita Meck came in and handed Angela an envelope. She said everything was explained in the envelope. She left and Angela went into the break room to check it out. Inside was a letter that read, "Dearest Angela, you will never realize how sorry I am that I hurt you that much. I don't have any excuse that could possibly cover what I did to you. It wasn't until you weren't here for a while that I realized how much I loved you. Again, I am so very, very sorry for what I did. Please forgive me if you can. Enclosed is a check. I sold the house and moved into an apartment closer to work. The check is for half of the equity after the mortgage was paid off plus some for all the furnishings I got. Again, please forgive me, Rita." She looked at the check and saw it was for over $7,000. Rita must have really gotten a good deal on the house. She went and got ready for her first customer. This was to be her first full day back and she was ready for it. She made cheery comments to everyone whose hair she shampooed. She didn't get tired at all and felt really good as they closed up the shop. That evening when Todd called, Angela told him she was angry with him. He immediately came over to see what was wrong. When he entered, Angela tried to maintain an angry look but couldn't. She went to him and gave him a kiss on the lips, and showed him the article from the paper. I didn't know you had that big a company or were that famous. You never said anything. I am wondering if I know the real you. I am not one to brag. I worked hard to get where I am today. You accepted me for who I am, not what I am. I'll admit I probably should have told you more, but it never seemed right. I am so happy to have found you that I figured it wasn't that important, what I am. I'm sorry if you think I deceived you. No, you don't have to be sorry. I was just surprised to read about you in the paper. I would love you if you were a store clerk or pumped gas for a living. I just didn't know you were such a celebrity. I don't think of myself as a celebrity. I like to think of myself as a hard worker who is good at what he does and lucky enough to find a girl who loves him for being himself. That's what I really like about you. You can turn anything into something romantic. You know how to bring out the best in a girl. They enjoyed each other's company until he said he had to leave to get his sleep for work tomorrow. Angela hated to see him leave but accepted that his work was important and that he had to be at his best. Angela went to bed after her bubble bath feeling like the luckiest person in the world. She slept the sleep of a newborn. The time flew past what with picking out a wedding gown and making all the arrangements for the wedding. One day about 2 months before the wedding, Rita Meck came in to have her hair done. She asked Angela if she'd forgiven her. Angela said she had and asked her if she would like to be a bridesmaid for her wedding. Rita accepted with fervor, knowing that she had truly been forgiven. On the night before her wedding, after the wedding rehearsal, the party split, with Todd and the groomsmen going for some drinks and celebrating his last night as a single man while the women went to Roberta's house to enjoy some snacks and a couple of drinks. Roberta came and handed Angela a very small wrapped present, telling her it was up to her what she wanted to do with it. Angela opened it up and found the little bottle of poison she'd been carrying the first night she met Roberta. They both started crying as Angela threw the bottle of poison in the garbage.